guys, and welcome to this episode 9, part 3 of my Computercraft tutorial series. We're going to continue the build I showed off in part 1, and also continuing on the code we started on in part 2. So if you haven't watched those, then you should watch them to see what we did then. Other than that, we're going to continue, and we're going to create a function which returns the status of the refineries, so we can see if they are active or not. So yeah, or get refinery. Let's just call it that. And then we want to again create a table which will contain all the refineries, like so. And then we can loop through the refineries table which we created earlier. Refinery info in pairs p dot refinery 2, and then we can simply just add that to refinery. We just add it to the refinery with the index, and refinery info is active is the function we want to use. So this will return true or false if the refinery is active or not. So basically we go through all the refineries on the network, check if it's active, then we want to write active in the refinery on that number, or not active if it's not active. So we can later check all the refineries pretty easily. So not a really complicated function, but yeah, it's really useful. And that's basically it for all the information gathering things we need to have this thingy working. So the rest of this is only gonna be writing all the information to the monitor. So first let's create a function which will draw all the static information which won't change. So yeah, let's just call it static text. And then we first want to draw like the title thing on our program. So then you can simply draw or use the draw line function, and it should be on 1, 1, so up in the corner, and should be the length of the monitor, and should be size 1. And let's use the settings the settings table we had, as we have a settings.border. And yeah, I just want to write a line. So basically this will be writing this on top of the screen for the entire screen length. And then I want to draw the title we did, so center text, we'll use that function. We want to create it on line 1. We want to have the text contain the title. We want to use the settings color text, and we want to use the settings color border. So here you see why, or maybe you see why settings table is really useful, because now instead of changing all these values to change the border or any information, you can just change it up in this settings table and everything will change. For example, if you see as the border here, they're using the same variable. So then instead of changing both of them to be the same the entire time, and you'll probably use this more, then we could change it up there and everything will change. So it's a lot better. And then we want to, there's 2 other lines on my program. I'm cheated a bit to see exactly the coordinates of those, but yeah, basically it's gonna use the draw line functions again. And I'm going to use settings dot color border, and I also want to draw this. I could probably copy that, but yeah. Oops, why didn't it go? Why do you not want to copy? Okay, I don't know why that happened, but yeah. So that's for the static text. Also, the part I'm gonna do now is for like the one steam boiler on the bottom. So if you want to like do this program better or use more time on it, then you can change this to print all the steam boilers, and yeah, you have to do something or some other stuff as well, but that's probably a bit too advanced for this tutorial, so I'm gonna skip that and just make one steam boiler on there, so you'll see how you could do that. So first I just want to like have the title, which should be steam boiler 1, so it just shows that that's a steam boiler. I'm going to use the color of the text, and I'm going to use color of the background. And I also want to draw another line. This is the bottom part, which it doesn't really have anything on it, but yeah, I wanted to fill it with something, so I just fill it with that symbol. So that's basically it for this static text function. Draws everything that won't change. And then we want to draw everything that does change. So basically all the information from everything. So yeah. First, let's get the energy information we got. So then we can just do energy amount, energy capacity equals get energy. So if you remember this function, it will return first amount and then the capacity of the entire network. So then we will save the entire network's energy amount and the energy capacity in these two variables to get energy. Simple as that. Then we can do the same for oil amount and oil capacity, although we use the other function, which is oil, and fuel amount should be fuel capacity equals get tanks fuel. Oops. Like so. So now we have the entire oil amount, the entire oil capacity, and the entire fuel and fuel capacity with these two functions. So pretty neat. You also could write fuel like this if you wanted to, because we created a function to lower or convert it to lowercase anyway. But yeah. And then we want to draw the progress bars for the energy, the oil, the fuel. So then we can use this draw prog functions which we have, or function which we have up there. So first we want to create it on x2, so a little bit in on the screen. We want to create it on line 3, so a little lower than the title. It should be named energy. Oops, I'm not done yet. Then we want to use the the length of the monitor -2, because we start 2 in on the screen and we want to stop 1 before the screen ends. So we have borders on each side. It should be a size of 1, since we can't fit that big energy or that big progress bar. And we're simply going to use the energy amount here, and we're going to use the energy capacity, and this function will automatically calculate the length of the progress bar and fill it based on that information. This is also part where you could put in the settings table, but yeah, I'm just gonna write it here hard coded, because I usually use these colors anyway, so I don't see why. Oops, I'll do it different. So the energy bar, I want it to be I want it to be green because yeah, that's just what I see with energy, kind of. I want the background to be gray. Colors gray. So another thing you see with the external editors, because I have color coded everything, I can easily see that I did write color wrong and I have to have colors. So it really simplifies yeah, those bad spelling mistakes. And then I want to draw another bar for the oil a little bit further down. This should also be the same length and same size, but this time I'm going to use oil amount and oil capacity instead. And I want to use let's use the black color for the oil, that fits well. And I want to again have gray background color of the progress bar. Then I want another one on 7. So basically like a progress bar, then a space, then a progress bar, and a space, and a progress bar. It should name fuel. And the same here, and same here. Fuel amount, fuel capacity. Orange looks good. And colors look gray. So now I have all the progress bars, or the main progress bars, filled in. Then I want to get the information about yeah, the little text in the middle that says how many boilers are active, how many refineries are active, and how much energy I get. So then I first have to get the steam boiler table. So that's as simple as doing get steam boiler. So and we'll get every steam boiler there is. And I'll just create a variable containing how many of them are active, so we can easily write that to the screen. So I'll just go through the boiler table. And as we have an index in the boiler table that's called active, we can just simply check that and see if it's true or false. And if it's true, so if boiler active is true, then we want to add to the online count. And simple as that. And then we use the center text function. And this should be a little bit down from this one, because we want a space, and then we want a line, and then we want a space, and then we want to write this text. So yeah, simple as that, steam boilers online. And then we want to have how many there it is online. So this we got here. So here we have all the online steam boilers. And then we just add a line, and then we want to have the total amount of steam boilers. So then that we can simply just do steam boiler. This will return the size of this table. So basically all the steam boilers we have on our network. And that's all the text we want to write here. So then we want the text of, or the color of the text, where we were going to use the settings text, and we want to also use background. So yeah, that's it for that. Now this should write on the center of the screen just how many steam boilers there are online. And now we're basically going to do exactly the same with the refinery thing. So I'll be right back while I write that. Okay, so here you see, now I've written that, basically exactly the same as I said, or I only used the refinery table instead of the steam boiler table. Yeah. So next we want to write the text which shows how much energy per tick we are producing in total. So to get that information, we want to have a variable saving the amount of energy we're producing, and then after some time we want to check that again and subtract and stuff like that. And we already created this variable here which will contain that information. So yeah, and as the first time we're going to run this or this program, that energy amount will be 0. So then when this thing updates, then you'll see that it produces an insane amount of energy. So we want to first check if yeah, that's not equal to 0, and we also want to check that the energy amount and the energy or the saved energy amount is not the same, because then we don't want to do anything about it. We don't want to use unnecessary processing power, even though it doesn't use that much processing power. Yeah. So if energy amount, which is the energy amount we get here, is not equal to, which you write like this, is not equal to the energy amount. So this is the variable in the settings table. So if they are not equal, then we want to do something about that. We want to first check if energy, the settings amount, energy amount is not 0. So if it's not the first time we run it, basically. It's not equals to 0, then we want to change the energy per sec variable, so we save that value equals that should be energy amount and subtracted by settings.energy amount, like so. So now we subtract those, and we want to divide that by 20. No, we don't want that. We want to get this energy per sec actually in energy per sec, and because we will be using, or we will calculate this every second you have the screen updated. This will be every 5 seconds. So we just divide whatever we get here by 5, and that will return how many or how much energy per second we are producing. So like that. Okay. And then we want to, well, when that is done, we want to save our energy amount, or we want to change the saved one to the energy amount that we currently have, and then it will do the check again and do the check again and so on. So that's basically it for how we can calculate the energy per second. So then we want to write that to the screen. So yeah, let's just continue with this as we have done. And it should be next line 12, since this is line 11. Energy output. And we want to write settings.energy per sec and divide that by 20, because 1 sec is 20 ticks. And then we can add RF. Yeah, let's do a space RF per tick. I'll just add some spaces there, so it's the same way. Overwrites if it's any longer than the old one. It's just a simple way to fix that problem. You can do it a lot better, but yeah. and settings dot background color. And that should be it for that one. And that's basically all the dynamic information which you can use, which doesn't really matter how many you have connected. The next part here, I'll just write the information about one of the steam boilers. Actually, let's just do that off camera, and I'll just go through everything because just shorten the episode a little bit. Okay, so now I've written that. So first I want to have a center text with the temperature and if the boiler is active or not. So I'll use the center text function. And then as I only want to show the steam boiler I have in my build, I've just hard-coded that I'll only want to use the last steam boiler in the steam boiler table, which should be that one. And then I just check I just write the active value of that one. So if it's true or false with the color text and the background color. Then I want to temperature, and I'll just convert the number to the string, and I also want to floor it so I don't have any decimals in the temperature. And again, I'll use steam boiler number, the last one, which should be the one in my build. And I use the temp value, which this steam boiler table will have. And then I'll just write degrees on behind that with the color text and color background. And then I'll have the 3 progress bars containing the water amount, steam, and the fuel in the steam boiler. So that's basically the same as the progress bars above. So again, I'll use the last steam boiler in the steam boiler table, and I'll have the water amount, steam amount, fuel amount, and water capacity, steam capacity, and fuel capacity. And let's change that to blue because that looks more like water. And this can also be black because that's more like oil. So that's basically it for the update screen update function. So it's a pretty long function, and some of these things does take some time. So that's why I don't clear this entire screen with the clear function every time, because then the screen will look, it will kind of write everything, then it will clear the entire screen, and it will take a little bit of time before it writes everything again. So therefore I'll just continue doing this function without actually clearing the screen, and then I'll just clear the screen every 60 seconds or so, I think I wrote in the settings table. So that's basically it for everything that you need to draw everything, as I said. So now I'm going to do the actual displaying on the monitor thing. So first I'm going to have 2 values which will contain the timers we will use for writing the screen and clearing the screen. So let's just screen update equals false, and also clear update equals false, just so I have those variables down. So first I want to clear the entire screen, which I'm going to use the clear function, which I had above. Then I want to write the static text, and then I want to write the update text. So basically on the first run through we're going to do everything, and it will show everything as nicely. Then we want to have a while loop, basically just an eternal loop, and so the program will always run. And we want to create those timers on those variables. So if there isn't any timers on those variables, so if not screen update, so if it's false, like it is here. Then we want to make screen update be start timer, always start timer, which is how we can start different timers and register them with the always pull event. You will see that soon. And we want to use the settings screen timer amount, so this is 5, so every 5 seconds this event will go. I also want to create the clear screen function, so if not CL update, so if that's false, then I want to create a timer on that as well. That should be the settings.refresh timer, like so. So now we at the beginning of the loop we will create timers if there are no timers currently on those two variables. Then we want to start a pull event. So this will basically wait for any event. So if I press on the screen, I press any key, I touch the monitor, or yeah, every event there is. And this will provide this while loop with a pause, so it doesn't run through and it doesn't error with too long without yielding. So it's basically a nice way to stop that and still be able to do a lot of stuff at the same time, or almost same time. So first we want to check if the event is a timer, and else if the event is I also want to check if it's a key, so I can simply go out of the program. And those are the two or the events I'm actually caring about. And the reason why I put this OS pull event in a table instead of writing as many people usually do is because then I don't have to have all the parameters for the pull event. I can just or I know that the table 1 will contain the event, and event 2 will in the timer case contain the actual timer. So if the event is a timer, then we want to check if the timer is our screen update timer. And if it's not, we want to check if it's the clear screen timer. And if it's none of those, we don't care at all about the timer, so we can just continue. So the first thing we want to do is set the timer to false. So when this timer happens, it will set that to false. So when it goes out of the loop again and starts new, screen update will be false, so it will start a new timer on that variable. So then it's a simple, we want to update the screen. Oops, we don't want an end there because we have an else if. So simple as that. If the screen update happens, then we want to set that to false so we can do it again, and we want to update the screen. And if it's not, or if it's the clear screen update, we want to clear the screen. Or actually we want to set the CL update to false, so we can run that again. We want to clear the screen, we want to run the static text again, and we want to run the screen update again. So basically or refresh of the entire thing. Okay, so that's basically it for the actual screen. Then just some handy functions here, which it's just pretty nice. So if it's the key event and the key we got is the Q key, then we want to kind of end the program. I want to have two different, so I can just type return and it will just return to the shell. And else if the event key is .r, then I want to reboot. So that's basically the entire program in its everything. So 250 lines. So let's see if this actually works. And yeah, be right back. Okay, so now I've tested the program. Of course I'm going to show it on camera too, but first I found two bugs in the code. So if you've written together with me, then the first one is here. I forgot to add when the center text. I forgot to give the actual text here. So yeah, that's one mistake, and that should fix that problem. And the next one, yeah, it was here. So instead of having energy per sec with big letter P, I had with small letter p, and it didn't work. So yeah, simple as that. And those were the two mistakes I saw with the actual code. I'm not sure about the actual timers, so I'm gonna add something here to just check that. This is just debugging purposes. Clearing, like so. You can remove this, but yeah, it just sometimes when you do timers, it doesn't run the timer and so on. So I'm just checking if they run after each other. Okay, so those are the two errors I found, and the rest should be good. So now let's get into the game and see the actual result. Okay, so back in game, and yeah, let's just corrupt that. I replaced this with an empty cell just to see that it changes, because it was full and that's not fun to watch. So I just simply call the program monitor2, and there. So now I see I have one monitor, two steam boilers, three tanks, refineries, and energy cell. And I also see screen update, so that timer works. Let's see if it goes again. So yeah. So here you see, and now I remember why I didn't have black color on the oil progress bar, and also I don't know why I did it on the steam progress bar, but yeah, those are easy fixes. Just change the colors of those progress bars. Other than that, it seems to work nicely. The energy is maybe increasing. We can let's add another energy cell here just to see that it increases in a more rapid rate. So energy output also seems to work. Maybe it's a bit low. Yeah, there it goes. So yeah, energy output is going fast. Oil is maybe working. Fuel is probably working. Yeah, it's at least it's a full oil tank. One steam boiler is online. That is also true. Steam boiler is active and it's at 1000. That should be correct. So yeah, that's basically it. We can also test. Yeah, let's actually see if the clearing of the screen works. So be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and as you see, I had to change something, but now the clearing function works. What I think happened is basically that the screen update and the clearing screen update timers hit on the exact same time, so the screen update went first, and yeah, didn't care about clearing update. So I just changed the timer on that to 59 seconds instead of 60 seconds, and it seems like it did the trick. I also changed now so the oil has a light gray color and the steam has a light gray color. So yeah, And yeah, that's how we could do a build like this. And there's a bunch of places you can improve upon this, like creating more steam boilers on the screen and having like a scroll bar or something on the side so you can see multiple or have multiple tabs for steam boilers. But yeah, I didn't want to do that here because yeah, that makes this tutorial a lot longer, and maybe I'll do it in another tutorial because now I've covered a lot of new stuff. And yeah, so pretty neat program, and makes your base pretty cool to have. Yeah, a screen that monitors everything in your base. You can obviously have a lot more information here by connecting to a lot of different mods. And a lot of different mods also have some special connection capabilities, like this steam boilers have the temperature and some other neat functions which you can use. So yeah, it's if you watch my earlier episodes, you know how you can explore those methods. So it's yeah, basically just go around with your program or your computer or turtle and just connect to everything and see all the methods you can get and build something cool. It's really fun. So hope you liked this long episode, and hope it answered some questions. And I'm yeah, sorry for bad English. I'm not English speaker, as you may know or may found out. But yeah, hope you liked this episode, and please subscribe and like and comment if there's any suggestions you want covered, and I'll probably cover them when I get the time. See ya!